Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Ward with RVtravel.com. And if you own an RV, this is a show that is really for you. Joining me today is Mike McNaught. Now, Mike is founder of RVezy.com, and we're going to have a discussion about some ways you can use your RV that you may not have considered before. So, Mike, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Keith. Pleasure to be here.
So RVezy, which is a fairly new company on the block, has been described by some as Airbnb for RVs. Now, can you tell us what that means?
Absolutely, and that's really the simplest way of understanding, what this concept is. What we are is we're a website, a mobile app that enables RV owners to rent out either their motorhome or their travel trailer to people that are looking to travel. And we do that by providing all the roadside assistance, the insurance for the owners themselves, and provide that sense of security and trust between RV owners and ourselves to provide an affordable vacation option for people that are looking to travel.
So what was your initial motivation for founding RVezy? What was it that led you where you are today?
Great question. So I'm very entrepreneurial at heart. My professional career, I spent 12 years as a police officer. Had a couple rental properties that we managed to get over the years, and I've always been a huge outdoor enthusiast. I spent over 6 years in Northern Ontario being a canoe guide, taking trips out in the backcountry and up here in Canada. I had an opportunity and ended up purchasing a motorhome back in 2014 for my family, and quickly realized that we had a blast using it, but then found it sitting in my yard not getting used, and I just didn't have the time to use it as much as I wanted to. So thought that there had to be a way that I can rent this out. Maybe I can rent it to others. So created like a Craigslist post and started renting it out, and it blew me away, the demand. I think I made over $15,000 that summer renting out my motorhome. But again, the cop in me saw these transactions and saw people sending me thousands of dollars of cash over the internet, never met me. I have no way of vetting the people that are renting my RV. I don't know what their driving history is like. I have no security to that transaction. So thought there just has to be a better way of doing this.
So you came up with this idea because it was something that worked for you, and you found out other people could do exactly the same thing. Is that what you found?
Yeah, that's right. And I've talked to a lot of other RV owners back, when we were traveling around, and everyone had very similar experiences. The RV lifestyle is unbelievable. It's great. Everybody loves it, but often life will get in the way. Your children are going to start getting involved in sports, and maybe there's soccer, baseball, and football getting in the road, and you can't take it out every weekend, but you still want to hold on to that asset. Well, how can you kind of justify owning this expensive asset without using it that often? Well, when you rent it out, it now provides a revenue stream that you're able to maintain the RV, make payments on it, cover your insurance expenses, and really just make it a more affordable process and a more affordable RV ownership.
Right. So the people who've rented with RVezy, do you how much money can they make? I mean, I know that's an open-ended question. There can be any amount, I would imagine, but do you have some figures of what maybe an average person makes, or anything to give us an idea of the kind of money that can be made renting out with RVezy?
For sure. So we see all sorts of owners. Not everyone is as entrepreneurial as I am. Not everybody wants to rent it out 365 days a year, and that kind of turns into almost a full-time business. We have a lot of owners that they just want to make a couple $100, a couple $1,000, and just cover maybe some of their payments. Kind of on the higher end, if you own a motorhome and you are have it available to rent very, very easily, you're making over $30,000 a season. So you kind of look at the RV kind of seasonality to it. A travel trailer between 5 and 10,000 is very, very easy to get to and very reasonable. But we have a lot of people that maybe it's they want to reserve 4 or 5 weekends a year to rent it out and just use that income to kind of help support their RV lifestyle.
So not only can you, it sounds like not only can you just defray the cost of that RV, if you really get serious about it, you could make money with it. Could this become a business where you could own several RVs and rent them out?
Absolutely. Maybe I'll use my own personal RV as an example. I own a beautiful 36-foot Class A motorhome. When you start thinking about costs of ownership of that, owning something like that is you're looking at a $10,000 to $12,000 a year expense. Well, I'm generating $30,000 of revenue off that single RV. So not only is it covering my costs, it's actually generating a revenue. There's profit on top of my costs there. And then when we've started to see, which is really amazing on our owner side, is that they've started investing into maybe a small fleet of motorhomes. Or maybe what they do is that they kind of take it on consignment, find a local RV owner that you know really well and that you have that trust, and they'll lend you their motorhome for you to manage and rent out. So we've seen some very creative people out there starting to build their own small fleets and generate not only an income, but a job. Right? It's a real business that they're making.
And this is a great time to do it with the RV industry just exploding, isn't it?
It is. And, COVID has been devastating worldwide. It's really disrupted the travel markets, the tourism, businesses all across the globe. What's been, we've been very fortunate in the RV sector that RVs are actually so well suited during this pandemic. You're able to isolate as much as you want. You're self-contained. You can kind of move locations and not have to rely on public facilities. And we've seen a huge spike in rentals this year. And what's happening is that people are now vacationing closer to home. They're traveling locally. They're exploring their own backyards. So it's a real interesting time in the RV industry and just travel altogether, and a real opportunity for people to generate an income off an RV. Many people have lost their jobs out there and are hit financially during this pandemic. Well, if you have an RV sitting in the yard, there's an opportunity to create employment for yourself, to generate a bit of revenue.
That's a great point. Now, can you rent pretty much any type of RV that you've got, whether it's a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, Class A, B, or C motorhome? Is there sort of any limitation to what kind of RV you can rent out?
Great question. And that's what I love about this business model is the variety that it offers. And not only the variety of inventory, but also a variety on the locations where you can pick up this inventory. Kind of traditionally, we were all kind of stuck to heading to, a fleet dealership that has a particular type of RV and they're in urban city centers. Well, our owners are spread all across North America. So even if you're going to a small town or small community, there's very likely an owner near that community. So you may not have to haul an RV across the country. Maybe you can pick it up locally. And whether that's a small pop-up tent trailer or a large, Rockstar Class A motorhome, the options are endless because we're reliant on RV owners to rent out their RV. So the variety is really incredible, and you're able to pick up in different locations. And what makes, again, this so unique is RV owners are going to provide you with their personal belongings that are in there. So, you don't have to go buy a barbecue or a table or an outdoor carpet. It's going to come furnished. Often they'll provide linens and dishes. We even have a couple owners, they throw in a case of beer with every rental, right? So it makes it a really unique personal experience.
For sure. Now, following up on that point, though, an RV owner, one of the first questions they're going to ask, I'm sure, is, well, how do I know, what happens if my RV gets trashed? You don't always know how people are going to, take care of your RV, or if they are going to. So what kind of assurances do you give RV owners who sign up with RVezy?
So you're right that is the first question we always get. It's actually the first and second question we always get, and it's a very, very valid question. People work really hard to be able to get into the RV lifestyle. It's generally the second most expensive asset that somebody's gonna own, and we need to have that trust. Us as a company, the trust with our owners that these units are going to get taken care of. So what we generally do see is that our claim rate is extremely low, well below 1%. And I think what's unique about this peer-to-peer and the sharing economy is people tend to take care of other people's stuff. The comparison I really like to make is it's like staying at a hotel versus staying at your great aunt's house. There's just a personal experience at your aunt's house. You may leave the towels on the floor and not clean up as yourself at the hotel. But when you're staying with your great aunt, you're going to make sure that the corners of the bed are tucked in and everything is neat and tidy before you leave. And we see the same thing happening in the sharing economy, is that there's a personal connection that's made with the renter and the owner themselves, that they meet, they form a relationship, and they want to return the unit, if not cleaner than when they received it. So it's actually something really unique, and it's been amazing to see over the years.
So it's not like an impersonal hotel, kind of experience. And that's an excellent point. So what about insurance? How does that work? Do you need extra insurance to rent out the RV? What happens with RVezy and insurance?
So the insurance is all taken care of by us. That was something that we needed to make sure very early on in the company, is that we have the insurance, and that no matter what, these people's units are taken care of. Again, the last thing we'd want is for somebody's personal motorhome or travel trailer to get wrecked. So we actually carry a fleet policy that covers all the rentals that happen on the website. So there's no need to make an adjustment or any endorsement to your personal insurance. The moment that those keys are handed over to the renter, you're fully covered under our commercial fleet policy.
So it really is RVezy. I mean, it's in your name, so I guess it helps that you got to make it as easy as possible, right? So
Yeah, we didn't call ourselves RV hard.
right. Yeah, exactly. So along those same lines, how hard is it to get started with RVezy once you make the decision that you want to rent your RV out?
Yeah, a very, very simple process. And also, we provide all the resources as well. Inherently, there's going to be a lot of questions. So we have a full-time team dedicated specifically for supporting our owners, answering any of those questions. But really, it's just a simple process, very similar to kind of listing something on Craigslist. You're going to visit the website, you're going to create an account, and then it's a couple-step process. You upload a description, you provide some photos, and decide on your pricing, and that's it. It's a very simple process. And once you are live on the site, again, all the control is in the hands of the RV owner. So even when somebody wants to rent your RV, you're going to get what's called a booking request. So someone's requesting to book your RV. It's up to you as an owner at the end of the day whether you're going to accept or decline that booking. And we encourage everyone, get in a conversation, get to know these people, make sure that your RV is going to provide them the best experience. And then if everything works out, then you can accept it, and now you got yourself a renter. It's a very simple, smooth process.
So how does that process then compare to other companies within this industry? Obviously, you're not the only one. There are options out there. What do you feel like differentiates RVezy from the quote other guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think what we've done is we've created this product from an owner's perspective. So I'm one of the founders of the company. My co-founder, a military veteran. We both were RV owners when we started the company. So I think everything that we've built and how we've built the website, how we built the app, has been all from the perspective of an RV owner. So supporting our owners and providing a superior service, whether it's through our insurance claim process, our dispute resolution, or any of the features that we release, it's all done from the perspective of an owner. Because if we don't have RV owners on our website, we're not going to have much of a business. So it's been very crucial to us to make ourselves available, to provide that education to our owners and provide that safety and security to take care of them. And And that also includes our roadside assistance program. It's not just roadside assistance, right? We want to make sure that should an RV break down or need some sort of assistance, that we can support them, not just changing a tire, but maybe fixing the fridge or getting the jacks fixed or a slide out put back in. So when an owner does send out their RV, they can rest assured that it's going to come back. And if anything does happen on the road, we're going to take care of them. So I think that's a really, really important distinction to make, because, you know, you can get someone interested in renting your RV anywhere. But should something happen, should you need the assistance, we want to make sure that we have the trust of our owners that we will take care of that. So I think that's a huge differentiator from us in the marketplace, is that we've developed that reputation of making sure we support owners in the event anything happens.
Right. It's peace of mind that you're offering here, that people want for their expensive, babies. I mean, they take care of these RVs, and so you want to know, they want to know that you're going to take care of them as well.
It's so extremely important. It's a relationship built on trust, and if we don't have that trust, and if we betray that trust, then it's not going to benefit our owners. And so we want to make sure that we provide people the opportunity to generate an income, to generate a revenue, and to grow this growing RV industry.
Now, you've got one thing that differentiates you from some of the others, is that you have an app, easy to use app for iPhones and Android. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So, kind of from the start of the company, I think that's something that we learned very early on from speaking to our owners, is that they wanted to have a slick mobile experience. So we started that back in 2018. We released an app to both the Android and iOS platform, and that enables owners to not only manage their reservations, communicate with their renters, but we also provide the mobile checklist. So when you do meet with your renter, you're going to go through a mobile checklist, very easy to use. You upload kind of pictures of the condition of the RV. Everybody signs digitally on the app, and it really makes that rental process really smooth. You don't have to go and print 17 pieces of paper for people to sign and send out. So we wanted to make that mobile experience really exceptional and easy to use for any owner across North America.
You want to live up to your name, basically, right?
Yeah. Again, RVezy. Yeah.
And that website, again, is RVezy.com. You can go there to sign up. You can also download the app for your iPhone or Android, and they make it simple. They make it simple and easy, and it's really worth your time to find out how much money you can make with your RV. Mike McNaught, I want to thank you for joining me. And again, this is Keith Ward with RVtravel.com. Have a great day.
Thank you, Keith.